website, it's not going up as much as, at all compared to the percentage. Like my value went up 57%, but the website looks like it's only gonna go up about $7.
Oh, really? I just read the commissioner's report.
Yeah.
Telling me I should call everybody else and ask for a discount.
It's only the inside village it's increased.
Yes, Chris Bell shared the website at the county. We put in your address and it'll basically tell you how far, how much your real estate's going up. The tab.
Yeah.
Everything except for the screens.
Is it working?
And then we can get cyber.
Everything else is enough.
It might end up being a lot more for some other places.
Okay, well,
There's another,
it's like audio live?
Yes.
Okay.
times.
Yeah, all right, well, let's get going then.
7:31, we're late.
All right, well, let's call the public hearing to order. You can take roll call.
Steve Lakovich.
Here.
James White.
Here.
Mark Porter.
Here.
Elisa Kudrow.
Here.
Greg Room.
Here.
All right, well, welcome, Greg. Is this your first official time stepping in?
First official time.
All right, great. We are here for a public hearing for Lopez Chagrin. Are you here for that?
Yeah.
All right, well, is anybody else here? You guys, okay? You know the comments? Great. Explain what's going on for us.
Oh, well, I purchased Pony Boys and we're changing it to Lopez, which was once Lopez y Gonzalez.
Okay, so you're moving into Point Boys, going to change the name over. What's the concept of Lopez?
Mexican food, upscale Mexican.
Okay. What will be helpful? What are you going to change about the whole restaurant? Are you going to leave the tables, like the outside part, like everything's the same? Or?
Everything's exactly the same. I only replaced a lot of the equipment in the kitchen.
Okay.
You'll change the name on the sign, I presume?
Yes, I changed it. I had a temporary sign up, if you'd like to see, like the show.
What about the side of the building?
So we can do this at the public meeting, but is there anybody else here that would like to comment on it?
Yeah, we could do everything. We could do everything at the public meeting, and then when we move into our regular meeting, that's when we have to vote on it. But
Right.
Okay, then let's just keep going.
Okay.
Fine.
They painted Pony Boys along the side of the building. Is that still there? Is that, okay.
It was a nice day. I had it painted today.
so you just covered it up.
Yeah, well,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I'm sure Burntwood will be happy.
I was gonna say, did they help
It's a
you?
big,
It doesn't say Pony Boys.
Okay. I saw where did it go? I saw some valet parking proposals. So what's going on with your parking, and is it kind of the same deal that was
Same
there?
exact deal.
Okay.
That's he had.
Have you are the valet guys going to be able to go back and forth behind? Or are you going to be able to get that back open? Because I thought there was something that happened with the rear of it got closed and they couldn't go through there anymore. Maybe you don't know, that's fine.
There was an agreement in here that indicated that they could do that, right? I thought I saw.
Well, I went to introduce myself to all my neighbors and
Yeah.
gave them a call from my own place. I said, I think it's gonna be a little crazy when we open for the first week or two. I've had serious valets, who booked me for years, and they know the problem and they expect to overcome it. So I just wanted to introduce myself, and I went into the bike shop.
Yep.
And I introduced myself, and he flipped out.
Okay.
And I didn't even know, I thought I didn't really know much about what had happened before, and I didn't even ask him to unlock the gates. I just was kind of taken back, and I went next door to the gentleman that apparently owns the building, Mike.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And he was very, very nice, and then I talked to Mike, because this guy, after I went in and said hello, called Mike up screaming, and Mike called me, and I said I didn't even ask him about the gate or whatever. It's crazy. And the gate's not even on their property. The gate belongs to the prior owner, the guy who owns the Pony Boys building. They built it on his property by accident.
Interesting.
So he wanted to rip down the gate. I said, don't rip down the gate. Let's just try to manage the parking as best we can. and maybe we can finesse some sort of arrangement like that.
Okay.
I mean, when I asked the gentleman why he would not open the gate, he said, I don't have to tell you. And
Interesting.
I've been in business for a long time, I've never been a neighbor like that.
I don't know. I know Jacob.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me
it's,
too.
Doesn't
it's
sound like
neat.
it.
That's, yeah, very.
Very interesting. I don't know what happened, but
I don't know, he must, something like bad happened before.
it certainly sounds that way. Okay, so the valet, like the setup, do you think, I mean, and I think you said you've got, a seasoned valet team. Are you gonna leave the way that it's set up now?
They ran the valet, do you know, they had their help parked in the front,
I did not know that.
which to me, and his reasoning for that is so that people would valet. But that's not what happened, so not only do we have the spaces that you see there,
Yeah.
I've also run an office space in the building directly behind me owned by Ed Gotcho.
Yeah.
And so we can also park all my managers' cars there because they're using the offices. So all my help will be parked over there.
So you're running office space back there too?
Yeah, I'm in an office space.
I'm sure Ed was happy.
That always wins. And that was in part because you needed the parking spots?
No, I mean, the restaurant's so small, you don't need to store anything. You know, I'm not so young, I just can't sit a lot of room all night long. I have to go to my office when I go to my location, so.
Good plan. Is there anything, so the conditional use permit you're familiar with and all the conditions that were put in place, you're good with everything that was there?
That I know of, yeah.
Okay. And anything that was in the conditional use permit, basically, right? Well, is this a new one? We have to adopt a new, we'll get into this in our next meeting formally, but we can just carry over what was in there. Do we have?
It's right here, so this,
Yeah, thank you.
it's the second page of that one.
This one.
Just a certificate of occupancy.
Thank you.
Also, if you notice in my agreements, my parking agreements, his was only for a year, his expired.
Yeah.
A year and a half ago, so we did not have any parking agreements in place. These are for 5 years leases.
I like your optimism. It's great. I'm looking forward to having it. Okay.
Yeah, I guess, I think we set these up because there's a lot of space challenges over there, obviously. I think what we did worked very well from everything I could tell. Did you ever get any complaints?
No complaints.
It's good.
I had met with Mr. Freelander this afternoon, go to the parking places, and we had an agreement when they go to open, we will go to all parking places in the city, capacity, and call it from there.
Okay. Yeah, I think I mentioned it last, huge fan of, my wife and I love Lopez. So the only thing that alarms me is when I see the article on Cleveland.com saying that you're coming back and there's 100 comments or whatever on Facebook saying they can't, I'm picturing this line of cars.
That's, yeah.
It's a little frightening because I
The social media buzz is huge.
make people aware that it's, because from my position, I had a restaurant with 350 seats.
Yeah,
If you called me and you were a friend of mine and you needed a table, well, 350 seats, you could squeeze somebody in. I can't squeeze anybody in this place, so it's gonna be.
are you gonna be doing reservations?
Oh, we have, well, Valley Park, I think you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
We're doing an open table.
okay, so then,
In carry out?
We're not going to start with carry out.
Okay.
But just, because I think it's gonna be so busy, I don't wanna add to the confusion and cars and whatnot. I understand carry out was a little bit of a headache, I don't know how it was handled, but they,
I don't know. I never carried out from there. I don't know if any of you guys, but
no. I was there quite a bit.
yeah,
I thought it was, I never saw a problem.
neither did I, but I also didn't see 100 comments in Cleveland.com about it, so.
Well, and they didn't have reservations.
Yeah.
My question is, how are you going to get the word out prior to open that it is reservations? Because
Well,
people are gonna wanna be there.
Oh, well, it's, I'm gonna have, all our advertising will say,
Okay.
reservations and, valley parking and, trying to,
Are you on Facebook?
Oh, yeah.
Join the Chagrin Village Block Club in the South Rose. It's all over. Like, they are excited for you to be there. That might be a good one just to post, hey, we're opening, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, if you open at 4 o'clock, I honestly could see people showing up at like 3 and filling up the parking lot and waiting for you to open. I mean, it's gonna happen, so.
And
Jim can't wait to sit in his car.
Well, that's because
Hiding that
getting
office
a
until 3:59. So,
Just don't sit on the bench in front of Hunan.
well, I think it speaks volumes for the restrictions we put on,
Yeah.
that nobody's here tonight, I mean,
Yep.
objecting. We don't have, yeah, I mean, there's no, I mean, because last time, that was a big issue.
But sitting on the bench, it will not.
No, just Hunan, the owner, because some of the property owners came to the meeting and were objecting to the restaurant. I think they were used to Violante's,
Well, I mean,
never had
the
any.
other owner I've known for 35 years, and she and I get along great. I don't think, her and I will have a problem at all. I mean, there might be one to park in their lot.
Have
Well,
you
that's
heard
good.
from Burntwood?
That's good, you know.
Pardon me?
Have you heard from Burntwood at all?
No, I don't really know them. I haven't heard anything from them. I'm expecting it. I know they had a problem with five owners because they were, I guess working for each other or something, but I don't know them. I have no relationship with them.
Any other public comments? Hearing none? All right,
I move we adjourn the public hearing.
okay.
Second.
I don't remember, we vote to close a public hearing?
You can.
There's a motion.
Motion.
All in
Okay.
favor?
Yes.
I
Yes, all right, public hearing is adjourned.
So you're done with
7:41.
One more.
One more, but it's
Hold
gonna
on,
be pretty quick.
wait.
It's gonna be pretty quick. So, the way that it works is we just had to have a public hearing, but no one shows up this is what Jim was referring to with, when we did this the first time on the public hearing, there were people here that were concerned. And the fact that we don't have any is, I think, to Jim's point, in large part because the process did work well and these restrictions were there for a reason, so everybody could kind of go along, so. Okay, so let's get a regular planning commission meeting going. If you could take roll call.
Steve Beckitt.
Here?
James White.
Here.
Mark Porter.
Here.
Lisa Kudrow.
Here.
Greg Graham.
Okay, we have one, before I do that, meeting minutes from October 12th. I had no comments.
Move to approve.
Second.
Steve Beckitt.
Yes.
James White.
Yes.
Mark Porter.
Yes.
Lisa Kudrow.
Yes.
Greg Graham.
Yes.
Okay, great. We have one item on the agenda, and I'd like to incorporate all of the discussion and commentary from the public hearing that has been held just before this meeting. Anybody object? No?
I guess for purposes of the meeting, I would acknowledge that we received the valet parking proposal and information on the company that the applicant's going to be using for valet parking. And also acknowledge that we received 2 different parking agreements from Washington Street Partners LLC and Goshawk Enterprises for the extra parking spaces for the proposed Lopez restaurant. So your application was very good. Much more, you had all your ducks in a row. It's very nice to see.
That's because Bruce advised me.
You're a good listener.
Yes.
Thank you.
You get even more points for giving her credit. I guess the only, I mean, Brian, do you want us to read through?
Yeah.
I guess I mean, I don't know what everybody else's thought is, but my thought would be that we would, the certificate of occupancy, which sparked Ruth, you to give us a copy of it. It has, the first page has the 9 modifications to the conditional use permit for Pony Boys. The second page, I mean, or I guess that's the second page, there's a cover page, and then the third page is the kind of the interior seating plan for the inside and the patio. And then the 5th page is the parking plan. The 6th page is the interior, and then it's just the interior. I think that pre-existed the patio. So, do you want us to read through these, Friday, or can we, oh, you do?
Well, or at least there's gonna be some that are gonna be changed because of the dates, right? Just wanna make sure, and then obviously the first one, right, he already has the written agreements versus having to provide those later. So we might wanna tailor it to,
Okay, so wait.
Well, we should
We wanna-
have parking, right?
Yeah, so let's, so we would move to approve the conditional use permit for Lopez, subject to the following conditions. One being, well, we've acknowledged receipt of the off-site parking spaces, but the conditional use modification point 1 will be that that the applicant maintains 12 off-site parking spaces, from.
Well, how many off-site
Oh,
parking
yeah.
spaces do you have?
20, I don't know what it is.
21?
Whatever was needed,
Yeah.
whatever they had last time, plus I have the spaces in the building I think I got,
which is
Oh, so you
11.
have more.
the iron ore.
You have 11 with Gotchak, correct?
Yeah. 11,
11,
You have lost a page.
you have 11 with Ed, you have 6 with Washington Street
Under the
Partners.
agreement. Yeah, 11 with Gottschalk and 6 with the other one, so total 17 off-site.
Plus you said there's additional ones though?
Well, because I took office space in the other building, that's where I'm parking, and that's where my 5 salary employees will be parking.
So you have 6 spaces over there.
Well, I mean, there's more than that, but
Yeah.
Well, how many spaces come with your rental of that space?
you know, there's nothing in the lease about how many spaces I have. But we're-
So it's unlimited.
Anyway, and nobody's in the building, so.
Okay.
Okay, because the other one was we had 21 off-site parking spaces.
So we'll just have it at that, you have 17 here, and you'll have to just make sure you've got 4 available in the other spot that you're renting from.
Yeah,
Those were the numbers that we did based off of the occupancy and the people coming in. So,
Okay, so condition 1 will be, that Lopez maintain a total of 21 off-site parking spaces.
If I may ask, how many spaces did he have? Because he only had 17.
We required 21,
Yeah, we did.
and it appears that they did that.
Because the contracts, those are the same agreements exactly that he had.
And he did not have the rental space and the additional
No.
parking. House.
Hmm.
I don't know.
all right. Well, he was supposed to have 21.
As it turns out, I do.
Okay.
So you have at least 4 with your rental?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was never discussed. I have 4 people working in the office, so.
Okay.
All right.
And how many are actually in front of the restaurant with the handicap?
Well, but in the restaurant space, there's, we
So that
have,
would be part of the 21, wouldn't it?
No, it's offsite.
No,
So
it's all
offsite.
offsite.
Okay.
Yeah.
well, the other thing though is, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, he had 4 for employee parking
Right.
in the main
Yeah.
lot, which you're not using, you have those offsite.
That's 16.
So,
Well,
12,
if I may, we're valeting.
yeah,
So we'll probably get, at least 20, 24 cars in that lot, at least.
Okay.
If we're not gonna use those, some of those we're not even gonna use. Probably 3 of the ones that are visible there, we won't be using, I don't think. One of them, those 2 parking spaces are on the patio.
yeah, that's true, yeah, he took those out, and I think he was parking back.
Okay.
Okay, so,
Well,
okay, so condition one will be that you maintain 21 off-site parking spaces and that you demonstrate, you have the agreements, but that you can, we'll just put that you demonstrate to the village upon request that you have 21 off-site parking spaces. You provide proof of that to the village upon request of the village. Is that fair, Brady?
Yes,
That way we don't have to do this every year and
Correct.
just, if there's a big issue up there, say, hey, show us that you got the spaces. As long as you're leasing the office and you've got these other spaces, I think you're good. Is everybody?
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll work.
Okay. So, and then we had an indoor seating limit before 5 PM of 32 seats and after 5 PM of 48 seats.
Was that because of parking?
Yes.
and
Yeah, because I think he wasn't having a valet.
Yeah.
Not initially.
So 48 seats still gonna be inside?
Whatever, yeah,
Is that-
nothing's changed.
Okay.
I mean, I think we had that if you had the valet service earlier, then you could increase your seating.
I'm not open during the daytime.
Are you not gonna do lunch?
The reason is these agreements, these spaces are only available after 5.
Okay,
True.
so that's number 2. This had the pedestrian access, sounds like that's an issue, but it sounds like that's been closed off for a while.
I mean, Incline closed off a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I think, I remember hearing that somebody was running through or something, or there was a bike stolen, or something happened back there that I'm not sure Pony Boys had any control over. I don't know. It's a bit speculative, but number 3 is not gonna happen.
I'm not real stuck on
I don't think that
what anybody else
matters.
thinks.
Should we delete that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll have the 1 is the 21 offsite, like I said before, 2 is the seating limits, and then the outdoor seating capacity is 18.
Right.
I guess we'll make that number 3.
Mhm.
Number 4, the total occupancy limit will be 60 people. I think that was set by the fire prevention officer, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
correct.
I don't think we have to do 5.
No.
Is that for patio?
So the next one will be, the parking layout as set forth. The parking layout labeled number 3 that is attached to the Pony Boys conditional use permit.
Well, but that's not gonna work because.
No, because the patio's there now, yeah. So that,
How many spots do you need up front? So if you were gonna keep this, where would you keep parking spots? And what I'd suggest is that we make the condition that he show proof or a minimum number of spots, to the village. So, because you're gonna miss those 2, but, are you keeping on the other ones there, just how it's painted?
Yeah,
The ones in
and
the
the
side.
valet, we've already done this. The valet could park, we had like 24 cars in there. We've done it with ease, and there's room for more.
yeah,
He's going to, the plan is thus far, unless people come at 3 o'clock and wait, because that's.
What are your hours of operation?
We're gonna be 4 to 9 during the week and 4 to 10 on the weekends. But on the left side, facing the building on the left side, there'll be cones going all the way down. On the right side, the people that get here early and for happy hour will be able to park. When those people leave, cones will be put in those spaces, and anybody who comes in will be valet.
okay. So do we not want to then insist on the layout, or do you like having the layout as part of the conditional use permit?
And I don't know if he's gonna change it, Mr. Freeland, are you gonna keep it pretty much the same, right? We talked
Yeah.
about it, yeah, we're good.
Would you want to, could we put something in there that the striping of the parking lot will remain the same unless the applicant wants to come back to planning
I'm going
commission?
to approach that issue, I'm gonna keep it the same, I'm gonna approach the issue of changing it, because I've already had an architect out there, and it's the same lot as the Hunan next door. I don't know why there can't be parking on both sides of the lot.
Well, I think the issue, because we had looked at that originally of having, the spaces, and the problem was it was so narrow, you couldn't turn cars around. If they pulled in, if cars were trying to pull in and then pull out to valet, it just wasn't wide enough.
It was for the valet. Hunan doesn't have valet. And in order to pull in, turn and leave, you couldn't do that at Hunan. It's too narrow. That's why it's.
Well, I think Hunan's lot is wider than yours, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the problem was, when the traffic was getting backed up, we were concerned that it would get so backed up that there would be no room to maneuver, and it would turn into a big cluster.
So I think we should just adopt a minimum number of available spots in the lot and be done with it.
Minimum or maximum?
Minimum.
What do you think? What do you want, Dave?
I don't know, like I said, Jim, we went through this today with Mr. Freeland, and everything looks like it's intact the way it should be. It'll work.
Would you want, if he restriped, would you want him to come back to us, or maybe just get your approval?
The stripes are still somewhat visible.
So let's say he wanted to change the configuration or restripe it. Is that something where we'd want him to come back here, or could we put a condition that he's got to be approved by you, maybe?
Either way you want to do it, I'm good with either way.
I mean, honestly, I think that some minimum number of spots and let him experiment and figure it out. Because I'm assuming he is best positioned to understand how, if his valet guys are experienced in this, you've had all these restaurants, let's just pick a number of spots and how he works it.
Yeah.
As long as that number is there in some way so that there's a minimum number of cars so that we're comfortable that could be parked. I'm good with that. I don't
If
need,
it gets too crazy, I'm gonna look for other spots and talk to some of the other owners.
yeah.
I'm not.
I mean, I don't know how you're hitting 24 spots there, though. Are you like parking people in valet on where the arrows are? Because there's only like 15 spots on that layout.
No, but if you we want to both ways. I mean, the valet have been able to do that.
Oh, so I'm just gonna walk up to the screen.
So because you're valeting, you're able to stack the cars.
So you're gonna have these, you're gonna have a row like this over here too. Instead of having them this way,
Right.
you're gonna park cars like this as well.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's-
I'd say we adopt like a minimum of 15 spots, because that's what's on there, and that's what we were comfortable with. And if you can fit more, great. That'd be my suggestion.
I'm good with that.
Okay, so the next one will be that instead of 6 on here, you have to have a minimum of 15 on-site parking spots.
You good with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's what we have now, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then the restaurant must have valet service after 5 PM during business hours with a minimum of 2 valets. On Saturday, the restaurant may opt to have valet service begin earlier than 5 PM, which will allow for the after 5 PM seating limit set forth in condition number 2. Good with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, he was closed Sunday. Are you going to be open Sundays?
Not right now, no.
Okay.
It's on the liquor license.
Oh, he doesn't?
Wow, that's a problem.
Why didn't he ever bother doing that? I live in that precinct, believe me, it's not gonna be a heavy lift. Do we wanna add in there, maybe instead of, for number 7, say on Saturdays and/or Sundays, in case you eventually do wanna open Sundays, at least you have that flexibility?
If I open on Saturday and Sunday, it'd probably just be for lunch.
Okay,
You mean Sundays? Your Sunday brunch? Okay.
well, we'll just keep the language the same and we'll add Saturdays and/or Sundays, just in case he wants to.
Sure. Was the Cleveland Heights one open on Sundays?
Originally, no, the first 25 years it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, you could get that, you could get the liquor license, you could get Sunday sales, yeah, it was like $2,500, put on the ballot, you're done. Okay, the patio,
I would just say maximum 18 seats and forget the layout stuff.
which I think we did up top, so.
So we don't need 8.
The seating on the patio was limited by the fire department, is that?
Yes,
Yes.
He was concerned about the layout, and I guess I would just have a condition that the patio shall meet all requirements set forth by the fire prevention officer. And just leave it at that.
And that's good, because at one time we were talking about the gate, you remember the fence around it, and he
Yeah.
had concerns about going through.
And he didn't like the ingress and egress, because that's why they had that goofy, like, bar seating. And,
Yeah,
Didn't they change it to plants instead of a fence?
yeah.
you're just gonna have to work with him if you want to do something different with it.
Yeah, I know, but I plan on uncovering that, hopefully.
That patio could have been done a lot better. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
The pass-through was nice.
Oh, yeah, I like that, but, so we'll just say that the patio must meet any requirements set forth by the fire prevention officer.
But
Just leave it up to,
have you done seating out there yet? Did you plan to have more than 18, or was that your objective?
No, I'm gonna go with whatever there, that's,
Okay.
you know, I mean, I'm not, nothing, no, I'm just trying to survive the original opening, and then we'll see what happens.
Okay,
So if I'm not making any changes, trust me, I will be in front of you guys.
the number 9 is already what you,
that's what I said.
okay.
Is that it? That's it?
Okay.
When are you opening?
Pardon me?
Do you have an open date set?
Hopefully gonna open a week on Monday, but I don't know if everybody will be trained by then.
Wow.
Okay,
So that's my motion with those conditions I set forth. I made the motion.
Rick, do you think you can go back and pull all that out of there?
I'm glad it's recorded, that's all I
You
want to
kid, nobody does a better job than her. And I'm on a lot of these things.
Well, I'm gonna second that motion.
Is there anything else?
say. Steve Vai-
Is that enough stuff? Everybody's good?
I think so.
Yes.
James White.
Yes.
Mark Porter.
Yes.
Lisa Rudolph.
Yes.
Greg Brown.
Yes.
All right, good luck on your opening.
We're all very excited.
Thank you very much.
I'll be parked there at 3 PM. Camp out and we'll be like, Black Friday.
You come hang in my house and walk over.
That's right. We go
Yeah,
walk in.
refreshing open table.
I'm surprised he never got the Sunday sales like that.
It seemed like,
Although he was never open and he was
it seemed like it was almost doomed from the beginning. There was just so much conflict around that thing, and
Oh, the Pony Boys?
yeah, it was.
They moved to North Carolina or something.
Yeah.
One North or South Carolina?
Somewhere south, yeah.
Was it, yeah.
Somewhere south.
I mean, they sold their house and everything. It was kind of weird.
I don't know. Okay, so there was a little business, but I think I'd like to skip that for this one and just call it a night.
But real quick.
Yeah.
So I think we were kind of chatting informally before you got here. So the Red Barn.
Yeah.
So we tabled it. He
Right.
couldn't be here, so it wasn't on the agenda, but do we really need him to come back?
The sign is turned off.
The backlighting.
Yeah.
The
It's been disabled for the top part.
Mm-hmm.
Has the lighting
Well,
been dimmed on the dentist's office?
Yeah, I don't see it right now, so at least he's got it.
It was disconnected.
Was it?
I
Yeah.
said to watch.
The sign.
Same.
The sign. No, but I'm looking at the medicine. It's not lit up, so.
and Jim, you come back for his.
So we were approving the use for the insurance company in there.
Right.
Development
Which we
review.
tabled.
Is he gonna stay in the front building too?
Sounded like he said he was putting up one of his lines in back there, so he's gonna do both.
I'm
Wait, so
fine.
are you suggesting we do something tonight?
I mean, it's up to you guys, but I'm suggesting that we take it off, we untable it, and we vote on
I
it.
mean, it seems like an olive branch. Here, Jim.
Well,
We complied with what we were
as
asking.
much as I'm sure he'd love to come back,
Right.
No, I'm good with it.
I don't know.
I mean, does he need to submit anything regarding moving into the building with that use?
He did it last time. I mean, that's what he was here for.
He submitted everything that he needed to. We just tabled it to have the other things that we were concerned about resolved.
Because he was in violation.
And-
So he's resolved his violations.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any other issues?
No, the fire department went through there, I went through there, we gave him a certificate of occupancy. Fire department still gotta go back through one more time just to verify the location of smoking, the fire extinguishers.
Okay.
And he said he was gonna get a hold of him this week to do it, and he said, no big deal. I visually seen what he put in there, and it was what it was supposed to, the fire inspector wanted to see also.
Do you want us to move to approve it?
He doesn't have to be here for that, right? We
He
can.
does, and I was
untable it.
just wondering if in fact he wanted to, but, I don't think we know that, that's all.
I would say probably not.
I was gonna,
I mean, I think we could not have a meeting in December
I got
too,
you, I
right?
Yeah, if there's that.
Do we have anything in the hopper?
No, the redesigning of the Gulf Station has been, I mean, since he came in spring with the reimagining of the signs and everything.
I must have missed that meeting. I remember that.
I know,
Is that
he
about
was never been here. He was never ready.
the sign that we had them turn off.
No, the
No.
whole imaging of the
Oh, wow.
Gulf
Again.
logo and everything. They
Oh.
maybe
Armories
need
and stuff.
CCA too, but
Things on Hungary.
we haven't seen him in a month or two.
No, I told you, I
Probably won't
wanted
make-
square footage of all the signage in the whole gas station area and submit it to me so we can figure out the square footage of it, and we haven't seen him since.
There's one in the area that was done. where
608 Mayfield Road, 322 and 608. If you ever get out there, we take a look at it, I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but it's very similar to what he wants to put in his corner.
Oh, so he redid that one? Because that place was a
Yeah.
rough shape.
Yeah, he redid that one, it's pretty bright.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is.
Brighter than this one?
I would say, yeah, there's a lot more to it, it's just.
This is very bright.
It's orange and whatever you put in there, you gotta take a look at it, it's different.
I mean, that was a lawsuit settlement. So, I mean, when we have situations where conditional use came in through a lawsuit settlement, we're usually pretty tough on those historically. So, the other thing is, a big issue when that was going in, when we didn't approve it, was the lighting, which is why we made them downlight everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Issues with the sign out front, he wanted to make a bigger sign out front.
Yes.
Well, and they did put up that one sign.
At least,
but I feel
Well,
like
that
that
looks great
lawsuit
fun.
wasn't, I feel like that lawsuit was.
Well, do you remember we had an angry mob in here of different?
Oh, I'm not gonna forget them out, but that's why I think, yeah, that lawsuit doesn't bother me about having other things done.
No, I'm not saying you, but
I understand what you're pointing.
there were some, I mean, I think there were some negotiated things. For him to do a lawsuit, do a negotiation with the
Right.
village, and then
Exactly.
5 years later, come back and say, well, I'm gonna do all this other stuff. We've historically been tough on those, I would just say.
Actually, would he have to open up the lawsuit?
I don't know, that's a question for you.
We'll have to look at that.
Mhm.
Well,
I've-
again, when he presents, whatever he's gonna present, then we'll.
I've seen that,
Yeah.
Was it-
agreed judgment entry, I've seen it, but it's been a while since I
Yeah.
read it.
So
I have
it
it
was.
It was an agreed judgment entry.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he may, you're right, he may have to.
It might be like an amendment or
I
something.
mean, if the village and him agreed, we'd still have, the court would still have to have some say.
It depends on what he's, changing. If he's changing something that was a requirement in the agreed judgment entry, I think he would probably have to reopen that. We'll see.
Well,
He was changing all the signage.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Well, to the Red Barn, so does he want approval?
Yes.
Let's
give it to
He does.
Very fine without having to.
Okay. Okay, good idea, Jim.
Yeah.
Okay, do you happen to have any of that handy?
What was the, here, we
It's
had
in
it on the,
Where is it?
it was in the minutes.
Yeah,
We get it. I'm good at approving without seeing it, I just didn't know if I had to sign something, I might have to come back up and.
So this was,
So- What's that?
Can I email it?
Yeah. I probably have it in an email,
one,
Yeah.
Stamp on it?
probably not this.
1225 Bell Road, which was, agenda item number 3 at our last meeting that we tabled. It's PC case number 23-08. Mr. Donald, you're seeking approval for occupancy to relocate his DRY insurance offices to 1225 Bell Road. The offices are currently located at 5197 Chillicothe Road. I make a motion to approve that application.
Second. Yeah. This is a first, I mean, I've been on planning commission a long time, I've never untabled, and then voted, I like it, good idea, Jim.
Lee Lankovich,
Yes.
James White.
Yes.
Mark Porter.
yes.
Elisa Buda.
Yes.
Greg Brooks.
Yes.
Can I make a separate motion that Jim gets to call him and tell him good news?
I'll second that.
No. I don't think he wants to hear from me. We'll let Ruth break the news, so.
So hopefully there won't be any applicants before the 30th. The Gulf Station is the only one I'm vaguely aware of. He hasn't been around in a couple months, so.
Okay.
I mean, he'd have to do an ABR application
Oh,
too.
he got the whole shot, he did.
Yeah.
Explain everything to him, and that's why I don't think we've seen him.
Does he want to go above the canopy?
We'll go above the canopy with the sign, he wants to change all the pumps out there with signage on it.
Why?
There's a big-
Change.
That sounds really expensive, like,
But I mean,
Corporate, he owns like 4
I
stations.
just went.
well, from golf maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, golf, through golf.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
as part of his
I tried.
agreement with the gas.
yeah, you wanna see Bright drive up by the truck stop. He owns that truck stop in Parkman. He built
Yeah,
that. I mean,
that's
and the guy does not spare any expense.
So I'll plug, have you guys been to, Caddy Corner to Circle K, the little restaurant sitting in the old shell?
Mhm.
It's phenomenal.
Really?
Yeah, it's so good, the food's amazing, it's so
What is
ridiculous.
it funny about?
She was just telling me today, she goes, yeah, go over to eat
It's on the
something.
corner.
Yeah, and
It's really that good?
87 and 306.
87 and 306,
Which corner?
the opposite from the golf, from the Circle K.
Right.
the gas station?
Yeah.
They go to,
The Southwest corner.
Yes,
Yeah. No, I know them.
The menu is.
it's a young couple, I don't know.
They're our age.
Oh.
No, they're.
Are you
Yeah,
serious?
I know them. They're my
Agents or-
yeah,
Oh, fun.
their kids are grown now. I mean, I knew them when I was there.
Maybe the kids were.
I'm thinking of the kids.
But the young kids might be working there now.
Yeah.
But the parents are.
Yeah.
are-
So you've eaten there, huh?
That's
good.
cool.
Good for them.
I mean,
It's really good, yeah.
Yeah,
I was gonna wife go.
yeah, I think so.
I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, you.
What they call it?
They're so bad.
I know.
So it's a restaurant in the gas
Shocking
station?
amount of money they put into
I didn't even know there was a
I've never
restaurant.
seen anything
It's like, it's mostly carry out.
Yeah. Well, when that guy had the one in Parkman when it was a BP,
Yeah.
they're like, they had the best pizza. I go, where do you get your pizza? They're like, BP. I'm like, what's that stand for? They're like, British. Well, I thought they had pizza. Yeah. And so another guy, that's
I
great.
mean, have you ever had that pizza at the Bell?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's good
Their
pizza.
pizza-
Great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh, it's
it's
great.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's
Pepperoni rolls are good.
Oh, yeah.
If you get the kids to.
I mean, the best thing we did was, approve them to have food over there. Remember that? We were like, well, how much are you gonna cook?
Yeah.
Yeah, it turned out okay.
Are we
Okay.
still on for December 4th? I think it's the 14th.
Well, so I think there's a standing
Sorry,
order. If
schedule.
nothing shows up on the 30th,
Okay, so maybe
we'll
not.
just cancel the meeting. So just let us know if anything comes up on the meeting. Doesn't seem like it.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
I just had a question regarding what was in the Sugar Valley Times today that you mentioned about issue 2. Is that something council would cover or not us?
Yeah, it's not
What
zoning.
council would- Okay.
Yeah, so the part of issue 2, and I'll send you the item I sent the townships if you want.
Sure.
But, because Rizzo was bugging me about it. So part of what issue 2 did was it actually passed like a new chapter in the revised code. So it's a citizen initiated referendum of like a law, so it's not like a constitutional amendment like a lot of the other stuff, like the gambling and issue 1 and all that. So, because it's a revised code section, it takes effect in 30 days from the election. But the legislature can change it, they can amend it, they could repeal it, I mean, which I don't think would go over well since so many people voted for it, but there's certain changes they can make to it. And one of the things that they put in there was that not through zoning, it's actually like a special statutory allowance. I mean, a municipality can always do this through ordinance, but a township really can't normally do stuff like this, but it says a township by resolution or a municipality by ordinance, you can limit or prohibit any or all of the 3 classifications of commercial licenses that'll be issued. So there's going to be 3 types of commercial licenses. Growth, so the cultivation, manufacturer processing, and retail sales, like, you'd have a storefront sale. So those are the 3 classifications of permits. There hasn't really been any they have to create a bureaucracy and then they can start issuing these permits. So how they'll it's, they want to do it kind of like liquor permits or beer, you know, like that. So you're going to have these classes of permits. So each township and municipality can say, okay, you know, maybe we want retail sales, but we don't want a cultivation farm, and we don't want a manufacturing facility. Like there's a manufacturing or processing facility in Middlefield, and it stinks. Like it's really bad. There's been a lot of issues. So, you know, that might be something maybe you don't necessarily want, but maybe the municipality's okay if Sal's is selling it. Or maybe you say, we don't want any of it. You can limit it, or you could say, well, we're only gonna let one license per category, or we're only gonna allow 2 retail licenses, and then that's it. Or you can just prohibit it completely. So there's like a lot of options, which is kind of nice.
And that's up to council to vote on.
Yeah, so it's not zoning, so it won't come through us. I guess the one thing that would come through us is if somebody came with a new business use though,
Yes.
and we were doing a development review, I think we could consider some of those issues, but
Absolutely.
That's interesting.
yeah. So but that's because we have this unique animal where we approve these new businesses, which is not normal.
But in the medical marijuana stuff, remember back in like 18 or 16?
Yeah.
Did you know, did South Russell prohibit it
We
outright?
did.
Yeah,
You did,
That
okay.
did come through us.
that was zoning.
Yeah.
For
Yeah, that was-
distribution.
Well,
Yeah, because that was David. I don't think you were here.
no, I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't, so what's
We
in our
adopted
zoning?
that zoning. prohibition.
Yeah, because we actually did a model resolution, and then I think Dave just took our, like, what we
Yeah.
he turned it into an ordinance, and then we did it through zoning.
No, I
So
remember for the townships we did it.
yeah, but we did a blanket prohibition for South Russell. I think passed. Yeah,
And it's in
passed-
our zoning code.
should be,
It's either an ordinance or in the zoning code.
Okay, I think that's why.
but it came through planning commission. I
I
thought.
know.
But it was a zoning change. It started here, but maybe it was.
I remember council approving it
Yeah.
So
I think
it came
did. I
from
think it started
planning
here.
to
We
council.
recommended it.
But
The other thing that's interesting when I was reading this new recreational thing, that was, they also have a provision in there that through this ordinance or resolution, you can regulate the medical too. So now you wouldn't, so maybe if people didn't do it through zoning before, they could do a blanket resolution or ordinance on covering medical and recreational.
Okay.
But this is just for the commercial applications for the licenses. You can't limit or prohibit home cultivation, which is limited, which is hilarious. I mean, I was reading through this.
Can't wait to get my plants going.
Only 4 plants per adult,
Yep.
and it has to be an indoor grow,
Uh-huh.
and it can't be able to be accessed or can't be able to be viewed from the street or accessed by anybody under 21 or so. It's like all crazy.
Oh.
Do you know how many reports you're gonna get for skunks right off the bat from some of our older residents?
Yeah,
So you can't have kids at home and grow it.
so this is an empty.
well, as long as you could.
Yes,
Right?
in your basement.
It's an empty nester kind of
That's
thing,
right.
right? You can grow your own, your wife can grow.
Yeah, there's all these kind of goofy things on there, and then so you can't limit or prohibit home cultivation or use. So,
But I thought you said 4 plants. That's.
well, no, but like the village couldn't pass an ordinance to say you can't grow it
You
in
can't
your
grow it,
house
okay.
or zone against it.
Mhm.
You can't, it specifically says in there, the home cultivation or the use provisions, so you can't, like South Russell couldn't prohibit you using it. But actually the use provision, you can't use it in public, can't use it driving.
And how are they
It's
gonna know
pretty-
it's used in your system 3 weeks?
I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's a whole
It's gonna
nother,
be a nightmare.
that's a whole nother.
Can I just ask, how come they're not gonna do the same bureaucracy that does the medical marijuana licenses for this one? I'm just curious, why not make a separate for recreational versus, I mean, that way we don't have to create a whole new.
You would think they would have done that because there's already people aren't real happy.
Well, I know they're not, but I mean.
Yeah,
you
because like
think-
the pharmacy board had that, and then they were trying to take it away from it, and then I'll choose my words carefully, which I normally don't. The pharmacy investigator side of it were overly aggressive.
Ah.
And even as a prosecutor, I think that like, that was kind of like ridiculous.
Okay, got it.
So then
Still.
people were kind
It's
of
competition.
getting, annoyed with that. So then they were gonna take it away and put it all under commerce, which they may have done. I remember even DeWine was saying like, we're gonna take it away from the pharmacy board. So I think that's why the recreational wanted to stay away from that whole infrastructure.
I mean,
It's just my
It
guess.
should all go under, the Alcohol Board of Control. Call it alcohol, weed, and, board control.
Yeah.
Because they have the experience of granting licenses and all the paperwork and everything that goes with it. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, that bureaucracy, they're terrible too, because, we do, we do the undercover buys, and, there's been places that just are constantly selling, and I remember once I said, I'm like, how many times do we have to do this before you take away their license? And the guy was very honest with me, I give him credit, he goes, oh, we never take away anybody's license, that's how we're funded. Said it straight out to me.
We just take the fees.
Yeah, or the yes. Yeah, I mean, the guy was very upfront with me, which I appreciated. He basically said, unless you're like some club down in Cleveland where people get shot, or there's, like there's murders happening,
Oh, this is happening up the road.
they'll pull their license, but think about how many liquor licenses are actually pulled. It almost never happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, not that you wanted to hear, look, I had to become an expert on all this garbage because of this.
Thank you.
All I read is that there's going to be lawsuits because the legislature is going to change the issue 2 and everything. So it's interesting. It doesn't sound like they're changing it that much, actually.
DeWine says they're going to, so he came out and said, hey, we're going to change it, but nothing's going to be a big surprise. I'm sure they're going to jack the tax rate up.
Yeah.
But then the speaker of the house, in the House is a disaster. The speaker of the House said, well, we're not doing anything before it takes effect. So I don't know what's happening.
I mean, it's going to be a free-for-all, it sounds like.
Yeah,
if it takes effect, I mean.
But then, so once it takes effect, people can use it, but the licenses, because they got to form this bureaucracy, they're talking like August before they issue any licenses.
Wow.
So we have a little time to,
Okay.
if you guys want, if the council is inclined to. I mean, I don't want to see Sal's become a pot dispensary. I mean, maybe somebody be in there.
Or the gas station, or, the Red Barn.
Yeah, his sign application might change radically. Green, glowing.
Opening up a snack shop right
That's
here.
right. That's right. Yeah, that kitchen will be busy.
I would. South Russell seems like a perfect place for prohibiting all of those.
I think council would do that favorably.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
You can drive a mile that way if it's really.
Yeah, go to Chagrin if you want.
I think when we did it last time, the only people who didn't do it were, for the medicinal, were Middlefield and Munson.
Huh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
they're, Munson. All right, okay. I move to adjourn.
We are adjourned.
Mr. Yurt will be pleased.
Yeah, they were.
I know, but now.
They made it turn the sun well.
It always is back.
Oh, here's
Why the light is red?